Are you at the verge of giving up? This video is for you. Please stay here. Do not go anywhere else. Welcome to this edition of A Praying Woman. I'm glad that you have made it at this space where we get to share the Word of God. We are here to encourage, to inspire, and to bring back hope. I'm going to share 5 things that you need to realize before you give up on that project that you started. It could be marriage that you started. It could be education. It could be your career. Whatever it is, it could be a business or something. Whatever it is, I want you to realize that now is not the time for you to give up. 5 things that we need to note. 1, you did not start to fail. You did not start to stop in the middle. You did not start to reach the middle and then give up. You started to succeed. Whenever we start something, the desire is for us to succeed. Why then do we want to give up in the middle? Things are not easy. It is not always a smooth sail, but it is those that hold on to situations, that hold on to the hardships, that move forward even when it seems like things are not working out, that end up succeeding in this life. I want to remember the children of Israel. Remember, God got them out of Egypt, and his desire was that these people would worship him, would build a strong relationship with him. This is what he started, and he desired to see in the end. But what happened when these people came out? They made a gold calf, and they decided to worship this calf. It did not please God, so he wanted to destroy them. But I remember the prayer that Moses made for these people. When he was talking to God, he reminded God that if you destroy these people, it will seem like you got them out of Egypt so that you can destroy them. Now, basing on that, my question is to each one of us: did we start to end in the middle? Did we start to fail? Did we start to destroy our spouses? Sometimes you get into marriage, and by the time you break up, you have destroyed your spouse, you have destroyed your partner. So just like God came around out of his mercy, out of his kindness, he came around and gave these people another chance. We need to give these projects another chance. We need to give this marriage another chance. Whatever it is that you started, we need to give it another chance, because we did not start to stop in the middle. So we need to realize that. The other thing we need to realize is that as Christians, we have to be Christ-like. We have to be Christ-like. And one characteristic that the Bible talks about of Christ is that Christ finishes what he starts. He does not end in the middle. He completes what he starts. Now, if our desire is to be Christ-like, then we don't have to stop in the middle. When we start things, we have to finish them. We have to push on. We have to move forward. This still reminds me of the story of the children of Israel. Remember when they were going to cross the Red Sea? But when they reached the Red Sea, they would not see the way forward. And then they were crying to Moses, crying to God. And God told Moses, "Why are you crying to me? Tell the children of Israel to move forward." Now, these are declarations that bring change in these projects that we started, that seem stunted, that don't seem to succeed, that seem to be ending in the middle. Talk to that project. Tell that project to move forward. Tell that project to go forward. Tell that project to move on, not to stay stunted in one place. Because we are Christ-like. Christ does not end in the middle. If one idea fails, another idea can work. If one approach is failing, another approach can work. So instead of thinking of stopping, we should be thinking of how else can I get this to succeed? How else can I get this to get the results that I intended to have when I started this project? Point number 3 that we need to realize is that when you stop in the middle, it implies there are resources that have been wasted. One key resource that I want to talk about is time. We have very limited time on earth. So every minute that goes cannot be regained. So if you have wasted so many years in a relationship, and then you want to give up on it at the point where maybe you just need to change the tactics, maybe you just need to change the approach, maybe you just need to be a little more patient, you choose to just give up, sit down and think of the losses that you're going to make. Probably in that project you have put in money, you have put in time, you have put in a lot of things, and then you want to give up? No. Now is not the time for us to give up, but rather to press on, because we do not want to lose the resources. The money you have lost on this project, it may never come back to you, and yet it is gone. And you could find that you drop this project, and then someone else comes, picks the same idea, does the same things, and then before you know it, their projects are working out, and you're like, but I was doing this, how come it failed? So for me, I would rather you engage another approach, you do more research, you do more reading, you think around, outside the box, and see how to make what you already started better. Because by the time you started it, you had the faith, you had the hope, you had everything figured out. It's just that things are not working out as planned, but it doesn't mean that things have failed and you should stop. One last thing, and yet very important, that we need to pay attention to. Whenever you realize that the project you're working on is not working out as it should, is more like failing, quote unquote, one thing we need to do is we need to engage, this is very important, a higher gear of prayer. Because I'll give an example of a preacher that I once listened to, and he gave an example of, for example, when you meet in church. When you go to church, you're going to meet people of different caliber. There are those that have come, but back home they have stocked the food for the next 1 week. If I'm to use that as an example. And then there are those who come and they're not even sure if they'll get transport back home. So when you find someone who has stocked food for the entire week and they have come to pray, you do not expect that person to pray the same way as this person who does not even have transport to take them back home. I would expect this other person to engage a higher gear of prayer, because the other thing we need to know is, okay, let me give another example of our backgrounds. You could find that in your background, in your lineage, your family was soaked deeply into devil worship. They were into witchcraft so deep that you are struggling to come out of so many covenants. Your gear of prayer when you start a project cannot be the same as someone whose family have invested in prayer, have invested in ministry, have been in ministry for years. The father of this person is probably a pastor somewhere, and maybe the uncle was a reverend somewhere, and then maybe the grandmother was leading the women's ministry some time back. So all these people have been in ministry, they have been praying, they have been breaking all these covenants. Now this person who is here today, yes, will have to pray, but their level of engagement in prayer cannot be the same as this other person who is the first to be born again in their family, by the way, who is the first to accept Christ and to push life out of witchcraft, out of devil worship, out of those satanic altars. The gear of prayer cannot be the same. So as we work on these projects, instead of giving up on them, it is good to do spiritual mapping. It is good to look back and see, how did my ancestors move? How were they moving? And then basing on that, you know how much prayer you need to put in so that that project can work out, so that that project can be lifted, and then you gain out of it. Giving up is not the way to go. Giving up does not solve problems, because even if you gave up on this project, even the one that you're going to start, the new one, there is no guarantee that for it will work out. That guarantee is not there. It's until you have broken that which is holding the current project that you'll be able to maybe start another project. Thank you. That's it from us today. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe, like, and share. Hit the notification bell so that whenever we post something, you're able to know that we have put something. We are a team of women that are passionate about the girl child. We are here to encourage. We are here to share the word of God so that we can be encouraged, so that we can be inspired, so that we can be lifted up in our marriages, in our career, in our workspace, in our families. We need that vibe to come back. we shall be blessed.